What's up everyone, I'm Grizz and welcome back for Vinland Saga Season 2 Episode 3. Last week we hit a lot of interesting developments, I guess. It was still more like setup for I think what's really to come, but it definitely allowed you to be like pieced into the minds of what each of the characters are, doing and what they have going on. Something I never really thought about or realized while watching last week or the week before, and I just kind of noticed like through editing, was the fact that Thorfinn looks so dead inside. And I talked about how he hasn't really talked much or said anything, but I wonder if the way he looks is more so related to the fact that he's just given up or just accepted his place, or if it's the past that he's had and all the people that he has taken their lives and, all the harm that he's done to other people and their family, if that's stuff that's just been eating at him while he's had time to kind of just reflect on everything. And speaking of reflecting on things, our buddy Einar basically disclosed some information to Thorfinn about how his village was burnt down multiple times. And the first one happened when he was pretty young, and lo and behold, it looks like our buddy Thorfinn may have been there when that happened the first time. I don't think Einar's going to be too happy if he finds that out, so I'm assuming Thorfinn's going to keep that in. Einar also developed a romantic interest, it appears. Interested just to see his reasoning and what he likes so much about her, what he's going to try and do to see her again, if anything. And also we learn that their master, his son, is supposed to take over the farm at some point, but he doesn't want to live his life like his dad or be his dad, and he wants to venture out and experience new things. He wants to become a warrior, which is all valid, but the warrior life isn't probably as glamorous as great as he thinks it is. So I do hope at some point we get a conversation between Thorfinn and him, and he really, like, Thorfinn kind of explains to him why it's not such a great thing. But it also might, venture back into the things that we talked about from season 1 about what a true warrior really is, and maybe Thorfinn's kind of like developed and changed his mind and understands a bit more about what it really is and what his father was really searching for. But we'll just have to see what happens, so let's just get into episode 3. Absolutely. Come on, just tell us. Do they illegally bet on each other here, or do they just fight each other for fun? I guess it wouldn't be illegal. There's no real rules here. Oh, off the cliff they go. We lost some men. Well, they dragged them out. What you got going on? The thing is, you don't either. You don't either. Yeah. Actually, I get it. Absolutely. They were laughing at you when they saw you, actually. Yeah. I love these two. Bodyguards, okay. It's not a smart idea. They think they know something, but they don't know anything. Yeah, I think it applies to you too, brother. He's so whiny. You're barely a man. He complains not wanting to be treated like a child, but he acts like one completely. Just gotta grow the fuck up. Things change when that opportunity presents itself. That's kind of what happened with Canute. He instantly started commanding people once he took someone. At that time, yeah. One of the slaves. They're gonna target Thorfinn, aren't they? Oh no, they're gonna. It's Einar. It's gonna be Einar. It's gonna be one of them. He's about to learn if he comes to Thorfinn, I'll tell you that. Or people with no rights. Well, they didn't try and target him in that same night, that's for sure. God, piss. Look at it steaming. Uh-oh. Did they try it? Nightmares? His PTSD's acting up? Oh shit. Uh-oh. Yeah. Yeah, Einar hasn't seen anything like that out of him yet. First time he's really seen emotion. A nightmare. Reliving the past, trauma. At least he doesn't like pry too much. This the same girl? Why is she here? Maybe she's not his daughter? If she's hanging out by where they are. He's so... Oh, that's cute. Ah, yeah, you just set him off, though. That man's locked up. My heart. Good for you, bro. You hadn't forgotten it, you just suppressed it. Arn? I don't even know how the fuck you say that. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but the fact that she's over here with you. Ooh, this could cause some problems. This could cause a lot of problems. Ah, yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. That could be a big issue. Like, they could be using him for some stuff. Ah, shit. Is she gonna be one of the ones? Is she gonna be the one that they target to kill? Fuck. This could be bad. No, 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 no. You can't. Your first. No, it has to be a dude. You can't just target like a helpless woman who has no clue what she's doing and make that like your first. Are they isolating her to make it easier for him to find her or to get somebody? Fuck, bro, fuck. Yeah. Unless they're bringing both of these guys to... What's his name? Olaf? I have a really bad feeling that they're gonna be there. She's not gonna be there when you get back. Don't tell anyone your reasoning. They're gonna use that against you if they find out. Oh, maybe they're bringing them here to battle here. Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. I don't know why I thought that he was gonna like sneak up and kill her. Okay, I feel a lot better now. Does he even get like? Can he even fight back? You're not even gonna let him fight back. The fuck is this? Oh, Thorfinn about to show the fuck off though if he tries to. No. Your lives aren't your own. Ah, that's so fun. Olmar, not Olaf. Look how frightened he is, dude. Your life ain't your own, so you do what we say and you die when we tell you to. Yeah, they don't belong to you though. Yeah. Yep. What's his is yours. Oh my god, they're gaslighting him. No. They're gaslighting him. I really hope Thorfinn just fucking gets in the way. Nah, he doesn't need to. Thorfinn could fuck him up with his hands, bro. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He wasn't even gonna go. I'm loving this. Hold them down, Aner. So they all just watch on and laugh because it's a game to them. Thorfinn's gonna fuck someone up, though. Is he just giving up? Or is he testing him? I think he's giving up. Oh, pay for your sins. Wake up, bitch. No, who are you? Okay, new character. New character unlocked. He absolutely does. Yeah. Release him from the suffering. We sell death? Well, that's your product, no? Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Doesn't even move. He's not afraid. He's been through much more than probably everyone here in such a short time. This is what he wants. Man, I'm hungry. They always are. It's not even moving. You're cutting up his dad's product. Ugh. Ugh. I don't know how. Ugh. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Ah. Yeah, he's broken. Nothing good's ever come from it for him, in his mind. Yep. Yep. Okay. And he still doesn't even move. He's not gonna care. I think Buddy with the black hair is gonna step in. Yeah. Snake. That caused a big reaction out of him. He got shook when he heard him. You just cut off his fucking ear, yeah. The whole time he's been here. Okay, he about to spit some fire, I can feel it. Drop some facts, come on. All the build-up for 3 episodes has ultimately led to what occurred right at the end of that and what is going to occur at the start of next week. We've been wondering what's going on in Thorfinn's mind, the lack of speaking due to probably his poor communication skills and lack of learning that growing up, but also just the look in his eyes, the lack of care, the deadness that he just has within him. Looks as though he's broken inside or he's just lost, but you don't really know which one. He's for sure suffering, and you don't know what the suffering is caused by necessarily, or the struggle. It's probably a combination of everything that he's been up to this point, but where is he at mentally that's causing this struggle, I guess? Is it just regret and wanting to learn how to move on from where he's at? Or is it regret in a fact that there is no moving on in his mind, and in order to be freed from the sins and harm that he's caused to others, he needs to be taken out and just removed from having life at all? The episode essentially opens up with Olmar getting kind of wasted. So what he's saying, we don't know if it's really what he's, a smart thing or putting it in the right way, but he's essentially talking about how nobody understands him, and that you can't understand him and what it is that he wants when they don't know what it is that he wants. And even if they do know what he wants, they haven't experienced that or been in the same situation where they wanted that same thing, so they can't tell him what it's like or what it is or how he should feel, if any of that made sense. Which I don't believe is wrong at all. I think what he's saying might be coming off a little weird, but I think it's truly not wrong, where other people who haven't been in your situation or don't know the things that you want and are just assuming or treating you a certain way can't tell you what it is that you want, or can't tell you how to go about these certain things, right? But the problem with this becomes he's only looking at it from that perspective and not from the other side, where he is wanting these certain things, and that's okay. But the problem is he doesn't understand what it is that he actually wants. He says that he wants to become a warrior, or he wants to join Prince Canut's army, or he wants to do these certain things, but he doesn't actually know what any of that's like. He's never been involved in any of that, and he just has this idealized version of what it actually is, which in reality will probably be nothing even close to what it actually is. We find out that the two guys that he's with are bodyguards, and they're strictly just trying to have fun and be entertained by him, but he's kind of bringing them down and they're not enjoying it right now. We find that there's not a lot of actual action or things that occur that these bodyguards have to actually like step in for or do any work on this farm, at least that they are on. So Omar kind of tests them, and he's like, I bet your skills have gotten, messed up. Like, you haven't been using them and you're washed. He's basically challenging them, right? And in the middle of that, they basically turn on him and they immediately show him why he shouldn't be saying the things that he does, why they get paid to do the things that they do and be in the position that they are in. And immediately you see the fear, within him. And they're not even trying here. They're still standing there holding their drinks. Like, they're not, this is just, it's natural to them, right? Fox tells him that there's only one real way for him to grow up from being a child. These two having, they fairly understand the things that he's trying to say. And they ask him, they're like, are you tired of other people looking at you like a child, right? That's how he feels. They can understand that. They get that from him. And he agrees to it as he's throwing a fit and acting like a child. But Fox basically tells him the only way for him to grow up and become a man and for other people to not view him like a child anymore is for him to kill a person. So the only way for you to grow up and actually develop is who you are, right? You're always going to be afraid of causing harm to others or having harm caused to you. But as Fox puts it, once you know how fragile human bodies are, you won't be afraid of others anymore. Basically telling him, once you do it one time, you're going to grow up, you're going to get used to this, and it's going to cause you internally to like develop and become just a man, as Omar basically wants. And we see this is, I guess, true for the time with Canute, and how once Canute killed Askeladd, we could immediately see a change in his demeanor. Sure, we saw it like slightly before when he saw his father killed right in front of him, right? But after being the one who essentially took Askeladd's life, he also was very demanding of everybody, and he immediately seemed like a different person. It didn't even take him time to think or reflect on it. He acted on impulse, did what he had to do, and became a complete different person. And from what we can see in the OP, it looks like he's developed a pretty decent amount out, and he's prince still. I don't know like what's basically going on outside of here, because we haven't really figured out too much, but he's seems to be doing well and seems to be changing who he is as a person. So assuming something like that holds true, or assuming this can also happen for Olmar. Jumping forward a little bit, Thorfinn wakes up in a complete panic, which is the most emotion that we've been able to see out of this dude in 3 episodes now. He has been completely dead inside, and this is the most that we've seen out of him. Turns out he was just having a nightmare, but he doesn't even remember what he was dreaming about at all, or what could have brought this on. Einar, somebody who doesn't know anything about Thorfinn because he doesn't open up or say anything, also has no clue what could have brought this on. What sort of nightmare is going on in your mind and replaying constantly that's bringing upon this reaction? And I kind of have a feeling this is something that may have been happening a lot before Einar came along, but Thorfinn doesn't actually remember or doesn't know, because it's something he just said he didn't remember the dream. He doesn't remember the stuff. But it also could be something that just happened for the first time. This is also the night of Thorfinn reflecting on the fact that he was involved in the burning down of Einar's village and the loss of his father, and something like that, and knowing now he has to deal with the person that he took his dad from. Maybe that reflects a little bit in his mind on Askeladd and how he took his dad, and then he had to look after, spend a lot of time with, and be with Thorfinn, his son, right? It's essentially, I mean, it's different, but it's also kind of a similar situation where Thorfinn, I guess, was involved in the loss of Einar's dad, and now has to spend all this time with him and be with this person who had to grow up without his dad. And now this other guy on the other side doesn't actually know that, but if he did, I'm assuming he would not be very happy with it, right? Would they be able to continue the relationship that they've slowly been able to build here? Probably not. Or maybe they are, and Einar's moved on or understands that it's not the same. But I don't think Thorfinn was the one who directly caused the killing of his dad, so it might be a little different, but just being a part of the group, who knows? Anyways, though, we do just see a lot of emotion from him that I didn't know was something he still really had in him, right? But this like hard PTSD attack that's coming at him and bringing up all this trauma that he has, right? And he talks about how he's forgotten everything, right? Or he doesn't remember like these things. But do you actually not remember, or is it just something that you suppressed within you, right? So that you could act like you don't remember. And doing all of that is going to cause, when it all comes back up to you, it's going to blow up on you, right? As they go over to wash up a little bit in the well, they then see the girl that Einar was able to see on the cart being pulled by the horse earlier when we saw the master. The girl he basically fell in love with at first sight. The one who me and apparently Einar also assumed that was his daughter. That's exactly what it seemed like. She looked pretty dressed up, she looked good, and she was riding along like that, almost like she was luxury, right? Wrong. I'm assuming she probably just got shipped in and she's about to start working, right? Maybe she's been here for a while, I don't know, but it seemed like she was new. But her being a slave is something that was new, and we're finding out, but it's something that raises a lot of concerns for me. It gets me worried about potential things that can happen. Every single one of them involves Einar, though, and that's also what completely scares me. First being the fact that she's the master's attendant. I think we all know what that kind of means. I mean, it could just be something simple, but I don't really know if it's like that. I think it's what the masters usually do with their slaves, right? Especially the women. We're not going to go into it too much more. Regardless, that means she has a direct connection to him, which could ultimately result, if they plan things correctly, an assassination or a ability to steal or take things or plot something against him in order to cause some sort of revolution or revolt that they're going to have against them. So it could be massive, actually, her position and her connection to these two in the future. But it also could be things that are very negative, and the fact that she does something like that, but she gets caught, and then something happens with her life, or something where Einar snaps and gets in trouble, and somebody's going to find out this connection that he has to this girl, and it's going to cause harm to her specifically, because they know it's going to make him suffer, and they'd rather see him suffer and continue have to work under them, right? The guards talking about in the last episode how they went to go see a girl, but there was already like somebody there like seeing her. This could also cause harm for Einar, of somebody that he loves like this, or he looks at, the way that we're seeing, and she could just be one of these girls that is getting targeted by these guards, right? It's a fine line that he's walking here, and he needs to be very cautious, because any sort of mention or any sort of realization from other people about the relationship that he may be having with her, or his feelings towards her at least, could cause harm to especially him, but her as well, and that's not something that's good. That leads to when the guards come up to find one of the slaves for Olmar to be able to kill and become a man. Initially initially I was very concerned that I thought it was going to be her, and I thought that they were isolating the other two when he took Thorfinn and Einar away so that he could come in and kill this girl, and I thought that would be awful and make Einar snap. It's not what they did, which is, you know, something that we're happy about. They basically, though, do take Einar and Thorfinn and bring him up to the area that we saw earlier where the two dudes were battling, and this is where they're going to set them up, and they're going to offer one of them up for death for Olmar to kill. Einar doesn't take too kindly to this. He wants like an excellent explanation why would you even like begin doing this, right? And Fox basically tells him it's not your fault. There's no real reason behind it, but the lives that you have are not your own. You're owned by somebody else, and you do not have any sort of freedom. That's really all there is to it. So when we tell you to do something, even if it's we tell you to die, you die. That's what you have. You have no say in what is occurring. The line of your rightful owner is free to do whatever he pleases with his possessions. It's gross to think about. It really is. But if you apply it in a more modern sense, then you own something and you want to, you know, we'll take a car, for example. You own a car and you want to destroy the car. You own it. You have the rights to do whatever you want to it, right? But it does work a little different when it becomes like an animal. If you have a pet, that doesn't give you the rights to just do whatever you want to it, right? There's still like laws and things that you can't do that aren't morally correct or aren't, you know, they're considered abuse or things that you shouldn't be able to do. So I guess in that sense, it does come off a little weird, but times like this were different, and these people, their entire lives were owned. You don't really have a choice. Olmar tries to find the way out of it and not have to kill him by using the excuse that they're actually owned to his dad and not him. So it's not a family property thing. It's my dad, you know? Fox gaslights the shit out of him, though. He completely flips the script on him by asking him things like, are you afraid of your dad? What is he gonna do to you, you know? And Olmar doesn't take kindly to that either. And he starts getting angry, like, I'm not afraid of him. Like, yes, you are, but you're gonna try and act big, or he, you know, Fox is at least trying to get that in your head that you're not, or you shouldn't be. And he's trying to make you act up and do this. Einar, though, just immediately attacks. He tells Thorfinn to stay back, or Thorfinn to run at least. And Thorfinn refuses, because why would he? Essentially, after refusing to run, Thorfinn decides, I don't even want to put up with this anymore. You guys can use me instead of Einar. Don't kill him. Fox doesn't take too kindly to somebody willingly giving themselves up, though, which is a bit weird to me. He willingly wants one of them and Einar to just accept his role and give up. Then when somebody like Thorfinn willingly takes the, you know, initiative to be like, I'll do it, like, you can take me instead, Fox has an issue with it. He talks about how him as a warrior sells a product. That's what he's here for. That's what he is being paid to do, right? And that product is to sell death. It's to kill the people that fear death, which is essentially everyone. Everyone should be able to do that. And because of that, it has value. You fear it, and it causes value and gives his job and his means of living purpose, right? If nobody feared it, there would be no reason for somebody like him to even hold a sword. There would be no reason to fight, right? Because nobody would be afraid of it. But that's where it becomes something like this job or this business that he's in it's scary. It's something that you fear, or people don't want to happen to them, right? They don't want to lose their lives. And that's why when there's actually people like him who grow up to a point that they can kill others or have no, you know, issues with it, they can make a living and earnings by killing others who do fear this. Due to this fact, though, it is the standard almost that everybody should fear it, or everyone should have a fear, and because there's something that they value in their life, and they can't just immediately die and lose that, right? Or cause issues for the other people around them by losing their lives. Thorfinn decides that he takes the opposite stance as everyone else, and he isn't like everyone else. And he asks a bunch of questions, right? Why do we fear it? What is the reason that everyone fears death, right? What is their purpose behind it? Is our purpose of living because we don't want to die? Or is that what we're really living for, just to avoid it and to not die, even though it's the inevitable? And also, what is the purpose of just being alive in general? What good does it come if you're gonna be gone at some point anyways? What good goes on throughout your life that you're just like, I need to be alive, or is an enjoyable reason for it, right? And most people would have things that they care about. Einar, for example, just met this girl that he probably cares about, or other people have their family to go back to. And Thorfinn does as well, as far as we're aware. Or these other people just have lives that they're living. but somebody in his situation who doesn't have anything really, doesn't have his freedom, doesn't have to see somebody like his dad, and then the person who took over essentially as a father figure for him get killed right in front of him as well, be stripped of your revenge and vengeance that he had against someone, and now with no freedom had to sit there for years and reflect on the things that you've done and harm that you've caused to others, while also meeting somebody who you were very involved in the death of somebody within their family too, right? So once again, he asks, does anything good come from being alive? Not for him. As he says, there's never been a single thing in my entire life that has been good and come to me, and it's sad. It really is. He's so broken and destroyed internally to the point that he doesn't have any good memories left within him. He doesn't have nothing. He spent his entire life focused on one thing that he was robbed of and was unable to get it. And now he just, in his mind, has to live out the rest of his life without anything to look forward to and without any real purpose, right? He lost everything that was important to him. And that's the problem. He needs to find value, and he needs to find something that makes him keep going and become to terms with the things that he's caused, and the harm that he's caused to others and things that he's done, but be able to cause him to move on and no longer feel this way. Understand that there are purposes and people can change and there's things that happen, and you may be able to regret things. You'll maybe always regret the things that you've gone through, but being able to just be here and be alive is something that's special in itself, right? But he struggles to find that purpose and find that reason to keep going and find that within him to be thankful and glad that he is still here. And he has the opportunity to continue to grow and try and find something. Just now, like, look at it. Einar was telling him to run because Einar didn't want him to also get caught up in this mess that's about to happen if Einar loses his life. Somebody who is showing that they care about you and they value you and your life. So it's unfortunate to see somebody like Thorfinn who's not even valuing himself or doesn't see any value within himself when there's other people like Einar who can, or even the dude who bought him who still thinks that there's some sort of value because of the job that he's putting him up to. But there's still something there that other people can see within you. We then really get introduced to Snake, very slightly. We saw a little thing about him earlier in the episode. Snake appears to be the boss of all the guards and warriors that work on this farm. That's what I'm getting so far. Don't know for sure, but that's what I'm getting. And immediately punches down Fox and asks for an explanation about what just happened and why you're cutting up this slave and why you just took his ear and why you're threatening to take his eye and why you're causing all this stuff, right? I don't know if Snake is on our side. I think he is. I think he seems to be possibly a reasonable person and might have an issue with you just doing this, but this could also be because it's the master's workers and you don't want to cause conflict between that, but we'll have to wait and figure all that out for next time. With all that said, I'm left with a few things I want to think about going into next week and future weeks. One is the hope that nothing really happens where Einar comes out and says something to this girl that he met and doesn't cause any issues, or other people get a hold of that information and use it as like blackmail, I guess, in a way, over Einar or over the girl, forcing them to do things that they don't want to or they shouldn't have to be able to do, also causing just harm to them because of this possible relationship that may be occurring between the two. I hope that Thorfinn ends up explaining to Einar at some point about what happened with the village, and I think Einar will take that well. I think at first he might not, but I think after reflecting on it a bit, he'll be okay with it. I hope at some point we get to see Thorfinn jump up and expose to these dudes that, you know, he's been through a lot more shit than they have and that he's nobody to fuck around with. And I hope at some point he does value himself and no longer willingly accepts the fact that somebody's going to try and kill him like this. I hope he finds some sort of purpose, and I hope that he understands the good thing that Einar just did simply by telling him to run away and try and spare his life. I hope that talking to somebody like Einar can help him get out of his slump and get out of what's going on, and I hope that maybe him and Einar both can be mentors for Omar in a way, for him to understand that being a warrior isn't all great, and being like these dudes who are taking advantage of people like him who are slaves are not great either. That's going to be all from me though. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments on this episode. A like and a subscribe would mean the world to me. You can follow me on Twitter and my anime list. Both of those links are in the description. Feel free to check out the other reactions on the channel. I will be back next week for episode 4. Peace.